Now for a look at objects. Remember, strings are objects. So here I have a class that I wrote called string tester. And here's my main method. And I've created two string objects, food1 and food2. This part is very familiar. You've declared many strings. So I've declared these strings. Now, one thing I've done that's a little bit different is, in fact, I said string food1 equals new string pizza, string food2 equals new string cookies. You haven't seen this before, and as a matter of fact, strings are a very special object, so this part's not really necessary, and you already knew that. I could just say, for example, string food2 equals cookies, and since a string is a built-in object, you didn't create it yourself, Java knows that when you say string food equals cookies, it knows to make a new string, a new object of type string called cookies. Now this might seem a little bit nonsensy until you make your own objects, but the way you make a new object is you say new whatever it is, and then you pass it whatever parameter it takes to create that object. And again, you've worked with strings. Strings are really just objects. So how do you run methods on a specific object? Well, again, here I made food1 and food2, and this is also very familiar to you. Food1.length is running the length method on this food object. Now, in the last video, we had static methods that we were running. So instead of naming the object, I named the class. Like I said, math.abs or math.round or something like that. Here I'm naming the object. I'm running the length method on this object. Again, this should be familiar. I think you're just thinking of it maybe in a slightly different way. Here I'm running the dot equals method on food1, and I'm passing it another food object. Here I'm running substring. Again, these are methods in the food class. So I'm running substring on this food1 object. And you've seen these other things. Well, food1.toString, that just prints out the actual food. It does the same thing as just saying food runs the toString method. More about the toString later on. But I just want you to sort of get in your head that you've already created objects. They're called strings, only you didn't have to use the special keyword new, and you've already run methods on specific objects. This is different than using math, which is you're running static methods. Here you're running methods on an object. So I hope that makes some sense. Give it some thought.